Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series. The unmistakable faces of SEC football. A who's who of the biggest names in the history of the sport. Today, Auburn's Rudy Johnson hopes to add his name to the honor roll as he leads the Tigers against Florida in the SEC title game. Florida crushed Auburn in October as freshman sensation Javar Gaffney caught 3 of Rex Grossman's 5 first-half TD passes. Today, the rematch. At stake, an SEC championship. You are looking live under the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, where the SEC championship presented by Dr. Pepper will be settled. It's the Florida Gators, the winners of the East against the Auburn Tigers, who come out of the West. Good afternoon and welcome everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us. This the toughest ticket in the city of Atlanta since, well, the Super Bowl last January. And what a contrast we've got between a couple of coaches here. Take a look at the facial expressions. Tommy Tuberville of Auburn on the right. He's playing with house money. He didn't expect to be here. Whatever he gets is gravy. Not so for Gator coach Steve Spurrier. This game will define Florida's season. They must win today or it will be considered a failure. Let me bring in my colleague now, Gary Danielson. Gary, what kind of a game do we expect here, partner?
Well, Brent, SEC championship, usually that's enough, but in this game, there's some hard feelings. Yeah, I mean, this team, Auburn, was beaten very badly, and some things were said after that game, and most of the people here know it, but let's show the rest of the fans. The first thing is, Brent, are you from Palm Beach? That's yours, I think, right there. The first thing, they said it was easy, Florida, fun. And then he said it was easy. And the quarterback said our scout team could have stopped us at least once. So Auburn is going to be ready for this game. But you know, Florida's going to be ready too, and Steve Spurrier, not just because they're here in the Dome, because last year, remember, Steve has said Bama 34-7, and then last week, Florida State pounded them, and Steve has said, guys, we got to come to play. It'll be a great one.
All right, our colleague Jack Arute is down below with Coach Tuberville. Jack?
And Brent, as you said, this is a rematch from the regular season. So, Coach, what have you worked on since that visit to the Swamp? How's this team improved?
Well, we had a lot to work on after that game, Jack. We made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes. Hopefully we've overcame that in the last 6 weeks. We're a better football team, but we're going to have to start fast today to have a good chance.
What about the difference playing in a neutral field versus playing in the Swamp?
Well, there's no doubt it's a better opportunity for us. It's tough to play there. It's tough to play in Jordan-Hare Stadium for them. We just need to get off to a good start and use our fans because we got a vocal group here today.
All right, good luck today, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this.
At stake here today, a trip to New Orleans and a spot in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Now, if Auburn loses, they will go to the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Should Florida lose, they would then go to the Outback Bowl in Tampa. So the young quarterback from Auburn, Ben Laird, out of Hartwell, Georgia, not far from here. He threw for only 164 yards in that loss earlier this season against Florida. And on the other side, the redshirt freshman from Bloomington, Indiana, Rex Grossman, has been selected as Steve Spurrier's starting quarterback. He scored 5 consecutive touchdowns against Auburn in that meeting in the Swamp. He was magnificent in the first half, and Steve Spurrier just hopes to enjoy some of the same success. His 11th year at Florida. On the other side, Tommy Tuberville, his 2nd year at Auburn. He came to the school from Mississippi, where he was a success. Auburn won the toss, and they want the football right away. And Carter returns as one of their ace return men, number 2, Tim Carter. And here is a good kicker for the Gators, Jeff Chandler, number 49, the school's all-time scoring leader, who recently was granted an extra year by the NCAA. The ball has been teed up on the 35-yard line, and we'll be getting ready to go at it. Earlier this week, prior to a practice in Gainesville, Chandler said, I should be able to take the kickoffs down into the end zone and prevent good field position. We'll see. A bouncing kick fielded on the 7-yard line by Roderick Hood. Hood with an alley, and instead of kicking it into the end zone, it will be favorable field position, at least to start this game for the Auburn Tigers. And Ben Laird, their senior quarterback, who chose Auburn over Georgia. It came down to those two schools. Loves to play golf. Told me that a big score for him is at 79 over 78, folks. Not bad.
That's not bad at all. See if he can put it under par today.
4 wides, indicating they want to do something with the forward pass. The shotgun, a throwing formation all season for Auburn. Looks like they're going to open up in the air. They go empty in the backfield, and here they come. They throw the flanker screen to Reggie Worthy. Fumble! A Gators pounce. A turnover on the game's first play. Florida football. Remember that first game? Auburn tried a fake punt on 4th down. Incomplete pass. The Gators struck. Now they've got a chance here today.
And even though it looked wide open, the game plan was to throw conservatively early. That was just a quick screen, a long handoff, a safe play that turns around and bites Auburn.
Steve Spurrier likes to strike deep after a turnover. Let's see if he does here today. He's at the Auburn 41-yard line on the first snap, and Grossman's going to put it up. Looks down, got his man, Javar Gaffney in the middle, and Gaffney, the freshman of the year in college football, to the 19-yard line. A gain of 22 yards on the Gators' first play. Now, beyond the numbers on Rex Grossman out of Bloomington, Indiana. After that win, here's the quote that Gary Danielson alluded to. I think the scout team would have at least stopped us 1 out of 5. And you better believe that all week long, the Auburn defensive coaches have been yelling at their players, hey, scout team, hey, scout team. All again. First down and 10 for the Gators. Back in the shotgun, Grossman hands now to Graham, who draws the start, and Graham bursts free. First down as he steps out of bounds. We asked Rex Grossman, what would you like to accomplish in the first series against Auburn?
I'd like to score on our first drive and complete a lot of passes and get into a rhythm. And I think if we get into a rhythm early, then we'll be pretty good for the rest of the game.
A great chance here. First and goal from the Auburn 8-yard line on the Gators' first series following the turnover. Graham, the lone running back behind Grossman. 3 wideouts, and he's going to pitch it on first down. Receiver covered, he'll throw underneath. And Hagebrook down at the 10-yard line. Well defended by Auburn that time, and that was Rashad Walker making the stop. We check our Dr. Pepper lineups. Gaffney with 13 touchdowns. Graham draws the start today. Rashae Caldwell, number 17, had 2 of the 5 scores in the first half of that opening game. The offensive line, Mike Pearson and Kenyatta Walker are outstanding tackles. Pearson did a great job in that loss against Florida State, but they have given up 25 sacks in 11 games. Auburn trying to penetrate from the middle of their defensive line if they can. Second down and goal now. Play fake, Grossman in trouble. Open, incomplete. They had a wide receiver all alone, Aaron Walker, and he simply missed him. Third and goal coming up.
Got hurried just a bit from Javar Miles, number 96, the end right here. Watch him come and just hurry just a bit. Nobody blocks him. And I think you could see Grossman felt it and kind of fell away from the throw, and he was inaccurate with an easy touchdown.
So here comes the Gators' third down pass. Where will they put Gaffney? They send trips to the left. He's the closest to the offensive line. 3 wide in that direction. Grossman looks that way. Goes. Touchdown. Florida. Caldwell from Grossman on 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Jeff Chandler from Jacksonville, Florida, on to attempt the extra point. And the same kind of negative start that Auburn experienced in the swamp. Movement in the line prior to the snap. You could hear the whistle. So take a look at a replay here, Gary.
Real key here. Jeff Gaffney right here is going to get jammed right as the ball is being thrown. Then the slant comes from behind him. Watch right here, the jam right there. There's the jam, and that allows that opening to throw the ball. Beautiful job by Grossman reading. Grossman puts it right in that opening. You jam the inside guy, you see it, you throw right off it. That's a beautiful read by Grossman.
So Steve Spurrier with the kind of positive start that he certainly wanted here today. And now Chandler will attempt to make it a 7-0 game. Thousands and thousands of Auburn fans in here, many of them scooping up tickets from Alabama. Remember last summer everybody said Bama was going to be here. They might be driving for a national championship. So they bought tickets to the SEC championship presented by Dr. Pepper early, and then they became sellers late, and Auburn scooped them up. And that crowd is quiet right now. Chandler can make it 7-0.
1,001.
Got it. A quick strike. But the key play was a fumble, and wouldn't you know it, it was caused by a young man who transferred from Alabama. Travis Carroll, who played well against the Noles, comes over quickly and forces the fumble. And the Gators strike first. Timeout. Florida now plus 19 on the season, and that critical turnover ratio. Auburn comes into the game +2, but Steve Spurrier's team has feasted off turnovers all season. And you just got an indication that after a turnover, Spurrier takes it airborne. He goes right for the juggler almost every time. Now Chandler with the ball on the tee, and again that low line drive trying to bottle him up back there. This will be Robinson, and he had trouble with it. He'll try to come out, going to be well short of the 20. He's thrown down the 6-yard line as Owens came pouring in on him. So our Dr. Pepper lineup for Ben Leard and Auburn. Rudy Johnson, number 32. He's the key guy. He's already broken some of Bo Jackson's rushing records for the Auburn Tigers this year. The leading runner there behind this offensive line. Cole Kubelik was a start at center as he did against Alabama in the center, but they'll be matched against Alex Brown, Gerard Warren, and a ton of quickness down there. Cannot afford a mistake down here now. And here comes number 32 on a stretch. Johnson driven out of bounds on that far side by Robert Cromartie, the cornerback, who comes up to make it. And we check in on our Dr. Pepper defense. Alex Brown and Gerard Warren both will test the waters of the NFL through Coach Spurrier. He will see how high they will go, even though both are juniors following the season. There's Travis Carroll, the transfer from Alabama, who forced the turnover. And the secondary, we've already seen Cromartie push the running back out of bounds. Lito Shepherd is over there. Benny Alexander will get a lot of snaps too. Now it is second down and long for Leard. Here's Johnson, big hole, first down, showing you his power.
You mentioned Auburn giving the ball to Rudy. That should be the game plan right here. I formation, deep back, give it to him. That offensive line challenges that Florida defense and likes to rush the passer. Gain of 12 yards on that play. Rudy's numbers are good enough. This guy needs to be ridden today for Auburn.
Came to Auburn from Butler, Kansas Community College, a JC graduate. He's already rushed for better than 1,500 yards. Trails only Bo Jackson. The left tackle was backing out all the way. That was Kendall Simmons, who was pulling out early, and the whistle prior to the snap.
Foul is a dead ball. False start. Movement by an offensive lineman. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
First down and long. And here a Gator yell, watch the screen. They move up under center this time, time. Quickly the defense adjusts. Now Lear throws complete, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. But we talked about Rudy Johnson. Let's take you back to the JC National Championship a year ago. He's playing for Butler County, Kansas against Dixie College. Folks, he carried 40 times for 375 yards and 7 touchdowns. Butler County won the game 49-35. And the Auburn coaches were originally scouting the quarterback, Daniel Cobb, on that team when they spotted Rudy Johnson. And they said, maybe this young fella can play. Second down and 11 now for the Tigers. Time for Lear. Out of bounds, short of the first down.
Take a look at the Dell Game Solutions for Auburn trying to move this ball. It's going to be bruise them to bust them later. You got to get that running game going early to bruise them. Then you get the big runs later. Short passes for Auburn. They're going to want to run the ball after they catch it. And for the Florida defense, whatever it takes. 8 men in the box, 9 men in the box. They got to stop the run. And then there's great corners for Florida can clamp down on the Auburn receiver.
That was DeAndre Green. And if you're an Auburn fan, take heart in the fact that Leard is 3 of 3. He's completed his first 3 passes of this game. Now needing 4 yards here on third down. Leard fires and he's got it. Lorenzo Diamond, the tight end, who made several key catches against Bama. One in the 4th quarter to keep a field goal drive alive with 10 yards here. An ABC Sports presentation of college football. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. Dodge and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come and see what's different. So there we have it. Florida has scored first. And now Leard comes up under center using Ronnie Daniels. In motion. First down now for Leard. Alex Brown deflects the ball at the line of scrimmage. Number 13, who had a pick against Florida State, bats the ball around.
Yeah, he had that pick backing off in a zone blitz concept, but this time it's a quick drop. Alex out here, watch how quickly he reads this, kind of steps over the cutback and goes back up and gets it. That's a gifted play, and that's why we've already had Simmons illegally procedure early in the game, because he knows the quickness of Brown coming off, especially on this turf.
Second down and 10 in the throwing formation. 3 wideouts. They also run Johnson out of this. The Gators show press and the whistle prior to the snap. Again, it was Kendall Simmons over here on the left. His hands are full with fellows like Brown down there in that defensive line. Well, let's go back now and remind you that ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the whole world taste better. Dodge and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come see what's different. Dell and Suzuki and the innovative Quad Runner and Quadmaster all-terrain vehicles. Sellout crowd here in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Chilly day. Been a chilly weekend outside. Not as cold as it was for the Super Bowl, but it's chilly. Second down after the penalty. Auburn needs 15 yards. And busted play to throw out of it. It is complete to Clifton Robinson, but he is throwing for a loss on the play.
Not sure how that one. I'm wondering if Lear didn't break that play because the receiver thought it was going to be a pass. Rudy didn't even expect the ball at all on that play, and half the team was running a quick screen and half the team was running a running play. It's really not that loud in here to make any mistakes, especially for Auburn, who has a dominance, I'd say, in the fans, as you alluded to, Brian.
It's a danger play for Leard. They need 15. They've got to go to the 48 for a first down. The fullback checks the snap count. Pressure coming. He steps away from it. Going to go downfield. Batted incomplete. Marcel Willis was the intended receiver, and Robert Cromartie, number 25, with another good, solid defensive play for the Gators.
Leard, that time. As he let this ball go, his right foot kind of just shifted a bit as he had the big guy, Warren, right in his knees as he let the ball go, and it was very short.
Lito Shepherd's dangerous, but the score here is Damon Duval and that broken finger. This is where he has to take a snap and get the punt off. He is a big-time kicker, but he must handle the snap perfectly with that broken middle finger on the right hand. Gators know it. He gets it off. Lito Shepherd's turn. Got it on the line at the 29. Steps to daylight. And Lito is down at the 40-yard line. So Florida leading by 7. We'll see if they can feed off Shepherd's 12-yard return. Timeout. Monday night, ABC Sports travels to Foxborough, where the Chiefs need a win against the Patriots to keep their fading playoff hopes alive. Kansas City versus New England, Monday Night Football, live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. First down and 10 for Grossman and the Gators. They scored on their first series of the game. Gaffney is off to the quarterback's left. Protection, fires. Gaffney makes another great catch, and there's a penalty marker as he snared the ball and stepped out of bounds. But we do have yellow flags down on that far side.
It could be on Gaffney. He really looked like he pushed off to me on offensive pass interference.
Florida's backing up. No question.
Yeah, Rodney Creighton established his position there, and Gaffney ran right into him. Watch it, number 10 versus number 10. Little squat by Creighton. There it is, a push off with his arms. Absolutely, that's an easy call and a good call by the official there.
So the Gators are being backed up.
Pass interference by the offense. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Our SEC referee today, Doyle Jackson, making that one quite clear. This time Gaffney will come to the slot to the right. Spurrier was concerned about his slot man today, and already he has used Gaffney on several plays. Rex changes up the play. They'll run Graham. Daylight if he can beat the corner, and back he goes to the original line of scrimmage, +1, with a helmet coming off at the end of that run.
Well, remember, against Florida State, it was Lowe's only 37 yards rushing against Florida State. But Steve said, I think I ran it too much on first down. I got to spread them out and run it. And with Graham getting a little more space, you can see that offensive line. Actually, Walker was a little critical of Steve's play calling. Said, Kenyatta, big left tackle, I think we could have, the big right tackle, I think we could have ran it a little more.
Second down and 9 for the Gators now. Grossman gets the sideline, incomplete. He wanted the sideline, and he goes down, and that was DeMarco McNeil, 92, who took him down. As we take a look at this Dr. Pepper Auburn defense, folks, keep an eye on 92 throughout the day. He's the kind of redshirt freshman coming along who could be a big star in the SEC down the road. Alex Lincoln is their leading tackler. The linebackers will be replaced frequently by extra defensive backs. Creighton and Kasher will have their hands full. 92 will get right down in the middle of that defensive line as he comes over to take a breather right now. Third down and 9. He'll be given a play off. So here comes Grossman, protected, slant, could be intercepted. No, 2 Auburn players went for the ricocheting football. Thomas, 54, and Kasher, 24. Had one of them been alone, I think they would have picked it.
You're right. Larry Kasher, the corner, made a great play on the hook route. He batted up to the air, and then Thomas and him both. And you can't really fault aggressive play. But look at how this ball, great play up top that time by Kasher. And that could have been a pickoff and could have saved them about 40 yards.
Senior punter Alan Ryan from Sebring standing back inside the Gators' 30-yard line. Clifton Robinson awaits the punt. From the 18. dances to the 25. And Auburn will have the ball on their own 31-yard line. Trailing here 7-0. Timeout.
Top-ranked Oklahoma continues their national title run with a rematch against Kansas State. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship coming up next on ABC.
With the SEC Championship here, presented by Dr. Pepper. Fans having another great time. Atlanta is one of the great college football cities in the country. There is a stat right now that Tuberville wants to change. As you can see what has happened here. This the turnover after the game's first play from scrimmage. And from there, Grossman marched the Gators to the end zone and hit Caldwell. Now Auburn so far has passed 7 times and run only twice. They've got to change that stat. Their running back is much too good. Number 32. And here he comes behind the lead blocker, and you can see that after contact, he'll still pick up 1 or 2 yards. So we asked Ben Laird, though, about establishing the pass against the Gator defense, and here's what he said.
A big key for me is to we'll be able to recognize when they're in man defense, change the play, make a protection call, and just give our receivers a chance to make plays. Take the ball downfield, throw it to them, and let Ronnie and Dede and those guys do what they can do.
Well, here they come, 2nd down and 8. He'll have Carter and Daniels. Ronnie Daniels, the one-time baseball player in the Expos organization. Carter gives him a slot look on the left, and Laird rolls to look back down the middle, wants to go deep, deflected, incomplete, penalty flag is thrown. Lorenzo Diamond, the intended target, and there's a penalty flag.
It's going to be holding on Florida. I think Marquand Manuel, the strong safety, got beat on the play, and kind of a smart play to grab a hold of him that time. It's only going to be a penalty instead of a caught play. All the action here's the guy right here. He's going to grab on to number 49, Diamond. There he is. There's the grab, and it could have been a big play because Diamond runs very well. Both of these tight ends for Auburn, Johnson and Diamond, are very, very athletic. When you watch them, went over there to watch practice, they are going to be throwing the ball a lot in this football game.
10 yards for the previous spot on that penalty and a 1st down for Auburn.
Coming out. You mentioned the run pass in the last game against Florida. Noel Mazzoni, the first start of that game, 21 passes and only 15 runs. And so far, the same strategy is starting out.
He's the lone back behind Laird, who changes it up at the line. The Gators 7 in the box. Throw incomplete. There's a bump. Is there a flag here? No. And that was Cromartie. Ball was probably deflected on that play. And let's check in with Jack Root. Jack?
Well, Brent, when the SEC demands a neutral field for their championship, the Georgia Dome gives it and more. It's the only artificial turf in the entire SEC. All 12 teams play on outdoor natural grass environments. Auburn may have just a bit of an advantage. You see, their indoor practice field, Brent, has exactly the same turf as what's inside the Georgia Dome, but it's only 40 yards long.
So for 40 yards, they ought to be the superior team. 2nd down and 10. Laird drops it off over the middle, and here comes Daniels. His first completion across midfield. Out of bounds at the Gator 46-yard line. He stepped down at the 1st down marker, an 11-yard gain.
Ronnie Daniels, the go-to guy Auburn fans know, coming across this formation. A year ago, caught passes for over 1,000 yards, and Tommy Tuberville said, if somebody would have told me that this year Ronnie Daniels would have only 300-plus yards receiving and we'd be going to the championship, I'd say, what are you smoking here? This is one of my best players. I have to get him the ball.
Spread the field, throw it on the shotgun. Daniels again on that flanker screen where he drops back and takes it, and that allows the lineman to move downfield, unlike the NFL. It's a big advantage on a screen play if you complete it behind the line of scrimmage. Well, this is a weekend when they're going to decide everything, and then won't the controversies begin. So tomorrow, join John Saunders and Terry Bowden. They reveal the teams going to the FedEx Orange Bowl to play for the national championship. They'll have all the other BCS Bowl matchups. The Tostitos Bowl Championship Series selection show tomorrow live at 3:30 Eastern. We'll all be watching where we're going and who's going to be playing and how loudly the Hurricanes down there in South Florida can be howling. Second down and 4. Inside handoff. Rudy Johnson struggles. He'll be short of the first down with Alex Brown making another tackle. Big number 13.
I think the shotgun snap that time really followed up the play. Leard had to reach down and Rudy had to wait for the ball, and that allowed Johnson, who wasn't really being blocked on the play, to be able to come in and make the tackle. Watch the shotgun snap. It's going to be low at the ankle, and Ben Leard really can't play off Alex Brown. On that play, the quarterback kind of plays off the defensive end who's unblocked.
Two big physical receivers check in for Auburn. Lorenzo Diamond and DeAndre Green. Both huge targets here on this third down. And Leard hit on incomplete as he was hounded by Byron Hardman. Number 42 got right to him as he delivered.
Hardman is going to be coming from the blind side this time. Number 42. Hardman was one of the 8 different linebackers that started for Florida this year. And you can see in the nickel situation, Hardman's coming in to rush from the outside.
4th down and 2. Leard on the field. Auburn to go for it. They trail by 7. They're a healthy underdog, so why not here in the first half? And that passing look from the shotgun with Johnson. He can take the inside handoff, and there was movement, and that might have been the defensive line. Let's let them sort it out down there. The Gators are indicating they were pulled across.
Remember, it was 4th and less than 5, so an offside penalty and maybe even an attempted draw-off is going to get a first down for the Tigers.
And the Tigers are applauding. They're going to measure it off against the Gators.
I wonder if it was a designed play to do that. I think the center bobbed up like a shotgun snap. Now watch this. I think this was a designed play right here.
That should be illegal.
Jared World and a referee.
That should be illegal, Gary. You can't have a center pulling your defensive lineman off like that. When he lifts his head, he's got to let it go.
There will be no recount on this one.
Come on. I've recounted everything else in my hometown.
First and 10.
First down now. Rudy Johnson behind the big fullback. Speaking of West Palm Beach, that's where Heath Evans is from. Carter's in motion. Here he comes. Fake. Leard is hit as he delivers. Incomplete. This time, Kennard Ellis. Number 35 rolled in on him. And these hits may be taking a toll before the afternoon is too far along.
Well, you're right, Brent. You can see the game plan for Florida is to put guys in the box. Look at all the guys in the box right here. And no matter what Rudy does, fake the reverse or whatever, Ben Leard is going to feel a helmet all day. And that rush again from the outside caused a poor throw from Ben Leard.
Second down and 10. 2 wide outs for Leard. Off to the right now. Johnson is running back. Here's Johnson. Steps, and the Gators were ready in the middle of that defensive line. One of the things when you come down south and you watch SEC football or you watch Florida State of Miami, one of the differences is the depth in the defensive line and the kind of athletes you run against. When you take a look around the NFL and you see the success of running backs, Emmitt Smith comes to my mind. Stephen Davis, another one. They have worked against some of the toughest defensive linemen in college football down here in the South, and we're seeing it again here today on both sides of the ball for Auburn and Florida.
Ben Hardman, number 42, is back in the game. That's a new wrinkle for Jim Hoke. 3rd and long, bringing in his rush linebacker. He must like that lineup.
Here's 3rd down and 10. The shotgun look for Leard. Pressure, drops it off on the hot receivers. Rudy Johnson trying to get the first down with his second effort. He battled very close to it, and Leard with a good pass to the hot receiver on the blitz.
Oh, you're right. Right off the slot that time, the senior quarterback, Ben Leard, said, I can see you coming. And with these spread out formations, it takes a longer time for this guy to come around the outside. There's actually coming out, and look at that easy drop off that time. That has to be a zone blitz concept by Florida, because that's a lot of room to give a running back on a 3rd and long.
Looked like he might have been out of bounds, but they've given him a very good spot. Auburn says thank you very much. It is a first down. And they are inside the Gators 25. trying to drive for a tying score here. Leard on first down to keep it in the air. Intercepted by Lito Shepherd. Shepherd picks it at the 5. And the Gators with their second turnover of the game. And the exciting Shepherd is down at the 30-yard line. A killer.
Well, that's the 23rd interception, the most in the Steve Spurrier career for this Florida defense. And Lito Shepherd just beat the ball to the spot. Here he is, right out here, man-to-man. And Ben Laird said, I got man-to-man. I see an open lane. Throw the ball, but watch Shepherd. He beats it. He reads it. He doesn't feel any pressure of Daniels going deep on him, and he cuts right in front and makes a big play that Steve Spurrier in Florida would have loved to have had against Florida State when Benny Alexander dropped that one early in the game against Florida State.
So here is Rex Grossman under the dome in Atlanta. Here's Graham on the handoff. We mentioned Grossman. He has played under a roof before. Folks, let's go back to the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. State High School Championship when he was playing in Bloomington. And watch here, and Gary Danielson, he had a big day for Bloomington.
Yeah, I think he had 5 touchdown passes in that game. And, you know, I think it's either Auburn or Domes that he has 5 touchdown passes last time against Auburn. And Brent, since that game, 3 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions since the Auburn game for Grossman.
And 1 touchdown pass here today. There's that screen now for the Gators, and it's Gaffney surrounded, no daylight. Gaffney, in case you just joined us, did catch a pass, and he now has 1,122 yards. That's an NCAA freshman receiving record. A reminder, tomorrow, Christina Aguilera comes to ABC in her first network television special. From small-town girl to pop sensation, you can hear her story. Christina, My Reflection, tomorrow at 8/7 Central on ABC. And folks, it's some reflection.
Hey, Brent, there's more navels in that show than a bushel of Florida oranges. You get a lot of navels in that.
Your line, not mine, my friend. 3rd down and 7. Shotgun. Grossman fires complete. And back to Caldwell. Foot race, end zone right ahead. Touchdown, Florida. The second of the day for Riche Caldwell, the sophomore from Tampa. It's 66 yards for the man who loves to throw indoors.
Well, you can't throw a ball any better than that. Decent zone coverage. You're going to see him come right up in the middle of the field. We've always talked, if you want big yards, throw it over the middle. The middle linebacker, Alex Johnson, right there, jumps up just over his fingertips. And then, again, poor tackling by this Auburn secondary. That's the one thing Tommy Tuberville said he had to have, is let's tackle them after they catch the ball.
Jeff Chandler. Movement down there. Mick McNeil jumping across. And Grossman looks tough in the pocket, folks. He stands in there.
Look at how little of a window Grossman had to throw this ball. He's getting pressure from McNeil. He throws it right over the outstretched arm of the linebacker. You can't do it any better than that. He didn't throw it too high. He didn't put any air under it. He just ripped it in there exactly the way the old coach tells him to throw the ball.
Maybe Auburn should have tried the scout team defense against him. Maybe the youngster had something.
You said that, not me. It's one each.
So Tuberville behind again, just as he was down in the swamp, hoping for an entirely different kind of start here today. But now it is going to be uphill for Auburn. They trail by 14. Timeout. Riche Caldwell, the sophomore from Tampa, with touchdown catches of 10 and 66 yards here this afternoon. The only 2 passes he has caught. And Rex Grossman is 5 of 8, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they haven't turned it over.
Hey, interesting about Rex Grossman. I guess if you can throw, they'll find you. And a pretty good high school player, as we all know, highly recruited. But all the talk was Jesse Palmer or Brock Berlin, their highly recruited quarterback. All Rex Grossman kept doing is completing passes, and Steve Spurrier found him.
I should say the Grossman family found him, Gary. He wanted to go to Florida State, and his mother said Gainesville is so close. Let's go over for a visit. Steve happened to be there. He was not on the golf course, looked at the tape, was impressed. And the rest is history, and Florida State fanned on a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, you want to see Steve get visit on a rainy day in springtime.
This one into the end zone where we expected the kickoffs to sail off the right foot of Jeff Chandler from Jacksonville, and Auburn will be forced to come out from the 20-yard line. Well, here is that turnover graphic with 2 today, resulting in 14 points. The Gators have feasted all season long. They are coming off their worst performance of the year. Now, I know they were pounded by Mississippi State. That was on the road in Starkville, but against Florida State, well, it was misleading. They were only down a touchdown at the half, but you had the feeling the Noles were dominating. And then in the second half, the Gators self-destructed. Too many penalties. And here today, they look like an entirely different football team. First down now for Leard. Here comes 32. And once you can get a 14-point lead, it gives you a little breathing room against a great running back like Rudy Johnson.
Right, and I don't think right now Noah Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator for Auburn, can take the bait for that. He needs to continue to feature, as you see Noah right there, calling the plays in and having them signaled. He can't really take the bait and open the passing game up too much now. He has to go back, play some clock, and give the ball to number 32.
3 wides out to Leard's left here on second down. Manuel, the safety is locked up one-on-one. They're going to throw that screen in underneath and then block on Manuel. So McIntyre is used as the receiver for the first time here today.
And quick screen looks so easy to do, but Auburn has really struggled either with fumbling it or poor throws on that quick screen all day so far.
Well, here is a big third down for Auburn. All big now, trailing by 14. They need to gain 6 yards, and that yellow line is where they have to go. And first and 10 is brought to you by 3Com. DeAndre Green flexes out to the left. Leard, middle. He got DeAndre Green for the first down, and the chains will move. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John, that was some picture of you playing hockey. Nice hairdo, my friend.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. And yes, the helmet was a concealed weapon when it would come off. Marshall against Western Michigan. Byron Leftwich to John Cooper. Marshall comes back after they fell down 14-13 to knock off the Broncos and win their 4th straight MAC championship. And Brent, I'm still looking for a late picture of you.
I'm hiding all the negatives, partner. First down. Gary Danielson, John, is livid, furious. He doesn't think that game should be played on Marshall's home field. Unfair advantage. He was outraged today that Western Michigan would lose. Here comes Leard. Going to throw one-on-one. The big fella out there incomplete. He just sent DeAndre Green out against the shorter corner on that side and hope for something good to happen.
You know, that Florida defensive pass rush again forced Laird to throw that off his back foot. Leard wanted to set up and throw it, but as he got that pressure, even though I think it was Warren was blocked on the play, he was blocked right into his lap. You have to keep that pocket clean in front of those quarterbacks.
Final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. Second down. Here's the handoff to Johnson. Struggling for extra yardage with Clint Mitchell. Fine young defensive end hanging on for the Gators. Nick just a little bit when he drug across that artificial turf by a 225-pound running back. That'll do it to him.
You know, this.
So time runs out on the first quarter. And the story of the first quarter, turnovers. First play of the game for Auburn. The pass was completed by Ben Leard to Reggie Worthy. But Travis Carroll able to get over and knock the ball free. From there, Florida marched to a touchdown. Auburn driving for the tying score. Shepard stepped in front of Daniels and picked it off, and the Gators scored a second time. Timeout.
You're watching the SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports.
Now here's Doug Johnson. He's one of the Gator quarterbacks last year. He draws a start for Dan Reeves tomorrow against CFO. I want you to notice how far away he is from Coach Steve Spurrier. He's afraid Steve's going to take him out for the game against Seattle tomorrow if it starts.
Yeah, but remember, Doug started last year in the Florida State game and got benched for the SEC championship when Jesse started. Now Jesse started against Florida State and Rex has started, so Jesse says, I'll be starting in the NFL next year.
That's life as a Florida quarterback,
exactly.
folks. It never changes. You just got to be ready. 3rd down and 6 now for Ben Leard and Auburn. And the handoff to the fullback. 1st down. Heath Evans powers across midfield for 18 yards. And the young runner from West Palm Beach ambushed the defense. They didn't expect that, Gary.
Look, take a look at the Dr. Pepper first quarter stats here. Obviously, the 2 turnovers have killed Auburn. They've moved the ball pretty well here. 92 yards in the first quarter. I think they're happy with that. But the play selection, that's what kind of has them concerned. They've already reflected the first call of the second quarter. 8 runs and 17 passes. They need to get that more even.
1st down. The Gator 46-yard line for the Auburn Tigers, and here comes Rudy. He crosses the 40. That gave you an idea of just how misleading time of possession can be. Auburn with more than 10 minutes of possessing the football, but because of those 2 critical turnovers and the quick strike offense of Steve Spurrier, they're down by 14. What about this big fella here, Gary?
Oh, yeah, you got to love him. You watch him. I mean, he just reminds you, blue collar. He's going to come up every play, durable. He doesn't get hurt. He's not shifty. He's not going to beat you in the open field, but I call him elusive, and he gets better and better and better the more times he carries the ball.
Here's 2nd down. Rudy getting stronger. 1st down, and we ask Rudy the keys to his running style.
Being short, and then the main thing comes with just having vision and being able to have quick feet in between the hole and just being able to get through the hole and just hit it north and south and just get going, and just once you get out in the open field, just try to make a couple people miss and do whatever you got to do to pick up a few extra yards.
One of the Auburn observers yesterday compared his running style to Emmitt Smith, and he'll remind you of him as the afternoon wears on.
You watch him. You know what I asked Tommy, how does he catch the ball? He says, pretty good. I mean, you're not going to take it 75 yards for you, but you're going to make 1st downs.
On the sideline, and they'll come back with the fullback. He was so successful, and look what we found here. Big Heath Evans powering into the middle of the defensive line.
Well, Heath Evans is a great story. This is the guy that really sacrificed for this Auburn football team, number 44. He led Auburn last year in rushing for 330 yards. Not a lot of yards. They only averaged 68 a game last year. But, you know, now it's 76 straight carries. Has not had a negative game yet. He gets positive yards.
He's only averaging about 10 yards a pop here today in his 2 carries, and so why not give it to him again? And the Gators say, enough of that. And they jump and surround him with Darrell Owens in there, along with Travis Carroll. You know, Travis Carroll found it hard to be a factor against Florida State because Chris Winkie was thrown for better than 350 yards against him that night. He's a little gimpy right now, but this is a linebacker's type of game. With a big running back, durable like Rudy Johnson,
Absolutely.
He knows that he's going to have that helmet in there and a lot of activity today.
In fact, against Florida State, you're right, the ball goes downfield. All 3 starting linebackers for Florida that game, total 8 tackles in the game. It was over their head. Woo!
The coaches upstairs saw the shotgun personnel come out, and they took him out. They put an expert defensive back in late. Incomplete as Ronnie Daniels dropped back, and it is a 4th down. Now, Damon Duval.
Another quick screen. It was a 4th
Not
throw.
indicating they're going to try to put points on the board. They're down 2 touchdowns, so Tuberville obviously feels that they've got to try to get a touchdown here. They need about 5 yards for the 1st down, and Tuberville is just going to try to pick up the 1st down if he can. Heath Evans is in, and they'll motion him out to go empty, and they're going to throw for it. Leard comes underneath, 1st down again. It's DiLorenzo diamond. Time after time, number 49, the sophomore from Biloxi, Mississippi, makes a big play, and that one for 15.
Noel Mazzoni's doing a great job for Auburn. He does not like his matchups outside against the corners. So what do? You take a matchup inside against linebackers. If you've got an athletic tight end, all that linebacker has to do is get bumped by the umpire. Little pick pass right there. If you go, and that's how it's designed, go real close to the umpire, and the guy covering you might get bumped up.
Tuberville's decision, a good one. Now it's first down inside the Gator 15-yard line. Here comes Rudy Johnson. Fumble! Loose ball. Still loose. And Gators have it. The third turnover of the game. And Tuberville's team comes up short again. Mike Nattiel, number 59, in on that play as the ball went bouncing across the 5-yard line to the 3. Take a look here.
It looked like he was trying to change the ball from up here. He actually lost it right away, and then he bobbled it, and then everyone went for a mad dash. You can see one guy, Florida guy, has it, and then right on the end, down on the 5-yard line, Florida gets it back. Wow, just killing themselves. Auburn able to move the ball, but not able to hold on to the ball. That's the difference in the game.
Nattiel recovers the fumble, but it was Travis Carroll who forced his second fumble of this game. The transfer from Alabama, who was suspended earlier this year, and is he ever making his presence felt? Now Grossman in the offense goes sideline. Caldwell incomplete.
Let's take a look at the Dell solutions. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Get in rhythm, throw the ball. If you're throwing it in rhythm, that will eventually force the blitz by Auburn, and then you make them pay. They've made them pay already, no matter what the defense is. And for Auburn's defense, they need Rudy. They need to take some time off the clock, and they must tackle. Poor tackling that cost them a touchdown already in this game.
Second down and 10. A penalty flag. A penalty flag thrown by the linesman just prior to the snap. So 3 turnovers, 2 of them drive killers, 1 in their own territory.
Dead ball, false start, movement by the offensive lineman. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
Brent, the corners for Auburn have been squatting, stopping at the first down yard marker and trying to knock down these hooks. Watch for Steve to go a little hitch and go and get a big play. It's available to him.
Maybe that's what Kevin McKinnon was signaling in from the sideline. He's a backup quarterback. He handles the signals, takes the play from Spurrier. Grossman out of his own end zone, gonna throw underneath to Frazier. So if one fullback can get involved, why not the other one? Rod Frazier, you remember the name, brother of Tommy Frazier, the one-time quarterback great out of Nebraska, but they don't resemble each other at all. Third down and short, coming up for the Gators.
The old check down pass, zone coverage by Auburn, check it down to your back, a staple for Florida passing.
Grossman. Flushed. Going down, and Caldwell's got it. So Grossman showed some courage as we check in with Jackaroo.
So you like that pass, huh, Brent?
It was a beauty.
You like the one he pulled off in high school? How about this one? Rex Grossman in Pee Wee football. Nice style for a 10-year-old. And pretty darn close. Yeah, touchdown. And Brett, the first time that Mr. Grossman ever touched a football, played Pee Wee ball, he ran 60 yards for a touchdown. I said ran. He started on his daddy's team as a tailback.
Rex Grossman, this is your life. First down and 10.
We were all good for Pee Wee football. He's pretty good here.
Byron, no, dropped at the 48-yard line. Auburn with a chance for a pick, and Larry Kasher couldn't hold on. So before a sellout crowd, the SEC championship game presented by Dr. Pepper. And the story of this one, Auburn turnovers. 3 of them. 2 of them have resulted in touchdowns by Rashae Caldwell. That's the first one thrown by Rex Grossman. This the second one, and it'll go 66 yards. Second down and 10 for Grossman and the Gators. Draw play. Here comes Graham. Daylight. Graham pounds a safety and makes his way to the 49-yard line. The reason why Spurrier put him in the lineup, he thought he could power over some of the Auburn defensive backs. He did that time. 22 yards.
Well, he had 7 pass receptions against Florida State a couple weeks ago. But this time, as Auburn expects the pass, 3-on-2 out here, that allows that running game inside to find a crease. Look at that. It's more than a crease. It's a canyon for a running game. And he runs right over Stanford Simmons, the safety. Boy, Graham likes the space in this game.
Here comes Graham again. Daylight, 40-yard line. And there's 12, 13 more yards for Graham. This is what they could not do against Florida State. But here today, obviously, Steve is determined to get some running. It was a physical practice down in Gainesville. They were in full pads on Tuesday, and the offensive line were working hard against the sleds and trying to give them some better run blocking than they've had.
Well, you know how Steve can get under people's skin in a little soundbite. Imagine what he's like 2 weeks after a Florida State game when you don't play a great football game. He rewrote it.
Graham, 5 carries, 66 yards. Now Grossman looking middle again, complete. Aaron Walker, and it's first down Florida. Well, a reminder, there's still a big one coming up next. Championship Saturday continues with the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Undefeated Oklahoma needs a victory against Kansas State for a trip to the national championship game. That's next on ABC, the home of the Bowl Championship Series. Mr. Danielson,
Oklahoma.
Who do you like in that one tonight?
Oklahoma. Oklahoma. They're ready, I think.
If the weather doesn't intervene, and we hear it's a bit nippy out there, and night game in Kansas City, that'll be fun to watch. Brad Nessler will be on hand with Bob Greasy for that one. First down and 10 for the Gators, who are inside the 30-yard line. Timeout called by Grossman. So we'll take a break. Florida has already feasted on 2 turnovers, trying to make it 3 in a row. Timeout. Might have taught his son a thing or two. Came out of Gainesville in the mid-70s, played 8 years in the National Football League, most of them with the New York Jets, and now his son, number 10, Jabbar Gaffney, with a freshman receiving record. First down and 10, and Grossman looking downfield. Gaffney, touchdown! Gaffney and Florida. How happy is Derek watching from that corner of the end zone? Way to go, son.
How many times can you say perfect throw and perfect read by Grossman? A little bit of a play-action pass. Look, at matched up against the whip linebacker that time, Rob Pate. You get a linebacker safety type on your big-time receiver. Throw the ball.
Chandler pounds the extra point. So the storyline. Auburn has turned it over 3 times. And Florida strikes for 21 points. Timeout. Experience history through the eyes of the combat photographers who chronicled it. From executive producer Steven Spielberg, Shooting War, hosted by Tom Hanks, Thursday at 9, 8 Central on ABC. Folks, that sounds like one to watch. That show right there, you be there. There's young Jabbar Gaffney. He's gone from outcast to all-star. Many of you know the story, especially down in Florida. Got himself in trouble off the field, was kicked off the team. Pleaded with the coach, please give me a chance, I want to be a Gator. He's been a perfect citizen, doing well in the classroom. 5 Gaffneys have played at Florida, and you're always happy when a young man makes the most of a second chance. In the end zone, this will come out on the 20-yard line. Well, an Aflac trivia quiz, and come on, you SEC experts, I'm going to be really disappointed if you don't nail this one. Who is the only coach in history to have won titles at 2 different SEC schools? I bet you had the answer before I could get the question out. We'll have the Aflac answer a little bit later.
In the holiday spirit, that's a layup, isn't it, for this area?
Gotta be. Can't be an SEC expert if you're a fan on that one, folks. Now, there's been a great coach, 11 years at Florida. He changed the entire face of the SEC. Ben Leard and Auburn trying to dig out from an enormous hole. Here comes Rudy. Johnson pounds for 9 yards. And we check in with Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Rudy Johnson is not accustomed to the spotlight that he has been shown upon him since he got to Auburn. In fact, he always tries to accommodate everybody. After an early home game, he had walked back to his athletic dormitory, and a young child asked him, said, Rudy, can you give me something? Give me a sweatband. Give me anything you might have, a hat. He says, I don't have anything. And then he looked down, and he had the game ball, the first game ball he'd ever received, and he handed it over to the young child.
Nice story. Gators jump on defense here on 2nd down and short. Here comes the hammer. 1st down, Auburn. As Alex Brown makes the stop.
3 mistakes, and you make mistakes against a guy that can put points on the board, and he makes them pay for it. You can see it. Fumble, interception, fumble. Now the last 2, I mean, they had to drive pretty far, but that offense, every time they touch the ball, I don't think Steve cares much about down and distance or where he is on the field. He's attacking from everywhere.
Tommy Tuberville, he cut his coaching teeth under Jimmy Johnson down in Miami. Dave Wanstead on that staff. Gary Stevens, that was a terrific college coaching staff. Leard in trouble, steps off incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. An ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. The Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac, wider is better. 3Com, home office or beyond, simple sets you free. And Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up, never let you down. Make it Bud Light.
Well as Auburn runs the ball, you know, Florida is not slouches at stopping the run. They're only giving up 134 yards a game, and out of the 406 rush plays, 159 have gone for 1 yard or less.
Here comes the fullback, Evans. About 5 yards, and Alex Brown, number 13. You know, Alex Brown, about the only way to stop the big fellas to try and hold him. You know, when he's playing like this, I don't know any other way to get on him.
Well, 3rd and medium, they're going to have a chance to hold him right here. He's lining up on both sides. He'll line up to the quarterback's right, and occasionally he'll line up to his left, depending on what defense is called. Now he's at the bottom of the screen, right in.
And they've moved him now. He'll try to tee it up. 3rd down. Friend Warren almost got there from the inside, and he was really pressing hard that time. Gerard Warren, another future 1st-round draft choice.
Well, that's really been the story of the pass rush in this game so far. The inside of that pocket has not been clean for the Auburn quarterback, Ben Leard, that time. Again, Warren inside forces Leard to shuffle sideways, and then he was late with the throw.
There is Lito Shepard. He's also intercepted a pass, made one of the big plays here today. Duval, low snap, but no punt rush on. And Shepard sprints to the right and looks sideline, and he'll be forced out of bounds on that far side over there. 18-yard return for Shepard. We take a timeout right now. The Gators are in complete command. Timeout. You knew it all along. The only man who could have won or shared titles at 2 schools was the Bear himself. At Kentucky, late 40s, early 50s, that's when men were men, and Paul Hornung said, I'm going to Notre Dame. And then down at Alabama, when he became a legend, man in the houndstooth cap and the old hat, he'd stand down there by the Arizona, down by that goalpost in the end zone. Great friend of Keith Jackson's. 1st down and 10 now. Grossman off a play fake, got all day. bringing it to Jabbar Gaffney and overthrows him by a ton.
Yeah, I think he threw it away. Good job, and Steve will be happy with that. He tried to go deep, good coverage deep by Auburn, and get rid of the ball and don't take a sack.
There's Jesse Palmer, number 7, standing over there. But Steve told us that this is Grossman's game, and they hope he goes the distance. And then he would be the likely starter against, well, a lot of speculation that it'll be Miami. And wouldn't that be some scene down in the Nokia Sugar Bowl the night of January 2nd? If it winds up, if Oklahoma wins, and Miami has to make a statement against Florida, 2nd down and 10, you don't want to miss that one. Grossman falls, probably slipped on the center. Somebody went down in a heap down there. Reminder that coming up on the MSN halftime report, John and Terry will have today's highlights, and Terry will visit with Oklahoma head coach Bob Stoops, who used to be the defensive coordinator for this man right here, and Stoops will tell you that he really learned a lot about football under Coach Spurrier. He gives Spurrier a lot of credit. In fact, he even hired his son, Steve Jr., is on that coaching staff at Oklahoma, and there was a time prior to Florida State when we were talking about the possibility of father and son hooking up, but and that could still happen. If Kansas State wins, Oklahoma could wind up in New Orleans. Here's 3rd down now, and Grossman sacked. Fumble. Ball loose. Out of bounds, Florida football.
Well, Javon Mills, number 96, the big defensive end, should have fallen on the ball. Was it, or was it DeMarco McNeil? I think it was 92. You see coming around the outside, this is a big hit, and Grossman loses the ball. First it was Mills inside with the hit, along with Johnson, and then the ball's loose. And was it 90? Yes, the freshman player tries to pick it up and score instead of falling on it, and Florida's going to be able to punt the football.
Now, meanwhile, we've got an injured Gator, I believe, at the 11-yard line. And Grossman was pounded.
What do you do if what do you tell a young player if he picks it up and he runs it into the end zone? You're happy, but he fumbles it out of bounds.
Yeah, well, we'll take a timeout now. Well, we hope that Thomas Moody is okay. He's quite a story, folks. He was a defensive lineman, and he was moved over to the offensive line by the Florida coaches. And in that great comeback against South Carolina, he's the lineman who caught that ricocheting pass and then just dove into the end zone for a touchdown. And ever since then, they've been calling him Touchdown Tommy. And we hope that Thomas Moody is going to be fine. And a reminder that here at halftime, Bill Campbell, fella from right there from Gordo, Alabama, he's going to attempt a field goal for up to $1 million in the Dr. Pepper $1 million pick your kick. He looks pretty calm, huh?
He was stroking him yesterday.
Was his wife, huh? Lovely wife. She was cheering him on. Oh, sure, she's got some of the big bucks spent. Yeah, you bet. So we want to see Melody and Bill there at halftime. We'll see what he decides to do. Jack Arute will be down there. Tommy's up, coming over to the sideline. You know, when you look back, Gary, at the Florida State game, even though it became very one-sided, I did think the Gator offensive line held their own against them.
One sack late in the game, especially at the 2 tackle positions. Yeah. Neither one of those great defensive ends were really a factor. And usually, if you don't pressure the quarterback for Steve, he has a big game. But the secondary for Florida State was too much in that game.
All right. Clifton Robinson will try to give him a boost. Allen Ryan standing right there on the goal line. You can see his right foot. Great view from behind him. Robinson, fair catch at the 48-yard line. So now it is Alex Brown's turn to come out here on defense, and let's take a look at how well number 13 has played. And Gary showed you how he moves him around in that defensive line, deflecting the ball, putting pressure on, stopping Johnson, the running back.
So he's petitioned the NFL, right?
Well, there are four players who, the one agreement you make with Spurrier is you come to me and we will find out. 4 players have gone to Coach Spurrier, and he's going to check at the end of the season to see how far they would go, how high they would go in the draft, and what it's worth to them. Here's a handoff. There's Johnson. And in case there are any any college football players listening to us out there, and you got that kind of ability, you owe it to yourself to go to the coaches to check. The NFL has no reason to lie to you. If they think you're coming out in the first round with that kind of money, they'll tell the coaches. But don't listen to some guy on the street who tells you, oh, you're worth $2, $3, $4 million. I've seen so many kids wind up in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds and never make it. Had no business whatsoever declaring for professional football. 2nd down and 9.
You almost got to figure here, if Auburn doesn't get some points on the board right here, they absolutely need a first down and take a run at some points here to get back in the game.
2nd down and 9 now. Leard's deflected, incomplete. Dropped down on that pass, and Gerard Warren. Now he is another of the 4 who has asked him. And folks, I got a hunch. I just got a hunch. His name's going to come back very high.
Yeah, and look at this push again. The guy, the offensive lineman, has him right in front of him this time, but Warren just gets his pads underneath and forces it right back in the pocket. That has really been the story of the pass rush the whole first half here for Ben Leard. He's had that rush in his lap, and it feels like you're throwing out of a well. You just can't put anything on your throws, and that big guy has been the difference in the pass rush.
Here's 3rd down and 9.
3-man front.
Prior to the snap. It is so tough for Auburn to come from behind against this team. They might have had a chance to stay with it if they could.
Foul is a dead ball. False start. Movement with the offensive lineman. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
But now it'll be 14 yards. And they'll have to go all the way to the 42-yard line there on that 1st and 10 line. That's brought to you by 3Com. So here's 3rd down for the Auburn Tigers. Warren is on the nose. When they go to a 3-man line, he becomes the nose guard in the Gator defense. Bull rushing the center, double team, drop it underneath to the fullback. Powerful runner inside the 45, and now they're 4th and short after that 12-yard run. And Leard, he's down on the ground in pain, and he'll have to come out for a play. You know Auburn's going to go for it here, down by 3 touchdowns.
Heath Evans actually been the star of the game so far for Auburn. He has really got his motor running, and he catches it right in the back and gets thrown down. As from the backside that time, it was Kennard Ellis coming on that kind of safety blitz off the corner. So you only line up with 3 defensive linemen, but you bring the 4th one from the outside.
And Daniel Cobb just snapped on his helmet. Number 16. He too transferred from the Butler, Kansas Community College, along with Rudy Johnson. And Laird won this duel back in the spring. A lot of folks around Auburn expected Cobb to step right in, and he's going to be coming out now.
Very interesting that Ben Leard got a chance to play in the last SEC championship against Tennessee when Damian Craig went down for a play. And we got 2 great coaches in this game. Let's take a little scouting report at the 2 coaches. Hey, Tommy, risk taker. We saw it early. Steve, hands-on, calling all the plays. A rebuilder. Tommy did it at Ole Miss. Steve coaches with instincts, with his gut. When you watch him, you know he does it right out of his gut. One's a defensive coach at Miami. Obviously, Steve's an offensive coach. Tommy, new contract, very well paid. But this guy over here, best paid in the business, $2 million a year. Take a look at our 2 coaches.
This is pretty fancy salaries being handed out in college football these days, and
you've got $1 million, no big deal anymore.
Exactly.
We're in the Brent Musburger area right now.
It's Daniel Cobb. I'll be telling my wife that. And they're going to punt. Rather than use a young quarterback in this situation, you would not expect Duval to fake a punt here on 4th and short. He tried it, and that failed in the swamp. He's an awfully good athlete, but again, he's playing with that broken finger, and takes a snap and hangs it on up, and Shepard going to let this one bounce, takes a Florida bounce. And some pounding handed out there at the, yes, it did touch him. First down, Auburn. Byron Hardman of the Gators, and now.
I don't think so. Since it was touched by Auburn first, I would think that that's a free ball. You can't be fumbled again.
Well, that's the point, Gary.
I'm standing off here just a bit.
No. Listen, Steve is making exactly that point.
I think it's going to be
and
Florida
the officials
ball.
Getting back together here. It took an artificial turf bounce, and the spin on it brought it right back toward the punter, high in the air. And there were people converging on it as Shepard was trying to get out of the way on the punt. And
since Auburn touched the ball first, I think it's going to be.
Here comes Laird. Here comes the offense. Here comes the explanation. Let's give a listen.
For an illegal touch, the ball is awarded to Florida. First down.
Yeah, here it is, and now Laird will have to just turn around, and now Tuberville's livid.
Yeah, well, the rule is correct. The ball was touched by Auburn. Lands on the turf. Everybody's getting free. It bounces back. Now watch Auburn guy touch it right there. There's a touch. And I think that that's pretty clear.
Yep. That was Thomas.
Good job by the official, the team getting together and making the proper call.
So it's Florida football again. And here is Gillespie, who checks in for the first time. Robert Gillespie. And he's taken down by Mark Brown. And let's take a look at our pro lineup. The Monday-Sunday lineup here on ABC. Kansas City battles New England. That's Monday night live at 9 Eastern. Then Sunday night on ESPN, the Packers face the Bears at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. So there's your prime time games on ABC. And Grossman and coach over there talking about it with 2:17 to go. And they're going to take him out. And Jesse Palmer is now the quarterback, and he'll hand off to Gillespie, who breaks free. And that is a first down. So Gillespie loses his starting job, gets a chance here, and makes the most of it with a 12-yard run.
Well, Gillespie is the leading rusher, for Florida. 5.6-yard average, but Graham looks like he's got a little more oomph behind him and has caught Steve's fancy. But he changes all the time. You know.
Well, here's the Spurrier deal, because Grossman's back under center. So Rex is back in. And it's first down and 10 inside of minute 50. And he'll run the toss play with Gillespie, and there's daylight on the right. Gillespie to midfield, and we check in now with Jack Arute. And Jack, I'm assuming that Laird is all right because he trotted back on the field when they thought they had the ball.
Brett, let's put all right in quotation marks. He has a bruised hip. They had originally said, we're going to evaluate it at halftime. But when there was that questionable situation where he might have had to go back on offense, Ben on his own ran out onto the field. So we'll watch him at halftime, but I'm sure we'll see him in the second half.
At midfield, first down. Gators bringing down the clock with a 3-touchdown lead. Back on the hip. They just come in underneath, and it's a Gillespie show right now. Gains 7 yards and out of bounds. Thomas forces him out.
I think Steve just wanted to deliver a message to Grossman that time. It was no big deal. Put Jesse in to run a running play. But I thought Florida and Steve was very patient to just say, all right, let's run the clock out. We're up 21-0. But those big running plays have got them to midfield. They're going to throw it all the way in there.
Running the clock out? You don't find that in the coach.
Well, they did it against them last time. Only threw 2 passes in the third quarter against Auburn.
It's fun and gun, baby. It's bombs away. It's second down and 3, and here we come again. And here's Gillespie again. That's a first down. Clock will stop at the 1-minute mark. Creighton, the corner with the coverage. I can just hear Butch Davis and his assistant down there, breaking a seal off the tapes down there and saying, we got a chance. We better start taking an early look just in case we wind up. Wouldn't that be something? They're going to resume playing each other in 2002. But wouldn't that be something in this year where everybody's battling for Florida? If Miami and Florida also wound up playing each other, that would be something. First down and 10. Grossman. Good block by his guards. Intercepted on the dive by Rodney Creighton off the deflection.
Creighton would have had it twice on that play. He read Grossman's eyes the whole way, coming from the outside. Here he is over here, and watch him sneak over to the middle and run right underneath the curl route. Grossman doesn't find the safety. Now he's in the middle of the field. Look at him coming in. He would have had the first throw, but then when it's tipped, he gets the second one. Great job of playing the route by the free safety. If you're a quarterback, when you have both your receivers to one side of the field, you must keep that free safety in the middle of the field.
What a pancake block by Kenyatta. Kenyatta Walker, the right tackle. Another one of those fellas who might go pro. Ben Laird is in the game. And the handoff is to Evans, who will not be stopped. Still going. To the 41-yard line with 25 seconds. A 23-yard gain. So we came in here praising Johnson, but it is Evans who has now rushed for 52 yards on 5 carries.
And Auburn smartly uses one of their 3 remaining timeouts as they've got a chance to put some points on the board. Keith Evans, leading ball carrier from a year ago. Now Florida's thinking pass all the way right here from the shotgun. Step one way, come around the other way, follow McGarry right in the hole, and a lot of this is done as Florida tries to rip the ball loose. You see so many guys doing that now, trying to rip the ball instead of trying to stop the ball carrier, and they get the extra yards.
One of the great things about the internet is the fans can be heard. For example, who should win the Heisman? Here's a chance for you to vote. So log on to ESPN.com, keyword BCS. That's a fine group. I think most would feel that Heupel, Winky, Breeze would probably move to the top. But go ahead and express yourself. Who do you like? ESPN.com, keyword BCS. Gary, who do you like?
I like everybody, by the way, can only vote once, right?
Unless you live in Florida. Palm Beach County, all my friends down there, you can vote 2, 3, 4 times.
If Josh Heupel has a big game tonight, I think he's going to win.
But make sure you punch it all the way through and follow the arrow to your candidate. You know, first down and 10. Here's Lear, deflected, incomplete. Manuel coming up on that safety spot.
Misread that time between Laird and Ronnie Daniels. Daniels goes deep. Laird throws the out. And I think that hip is bothering him a little bit. He really struggled to throw that one right there.
If it's bothering him, he should do the team a favor and tell them, because Daniel Cobb.
You can see he's really ginger with it.
19 seconds. That's all that's left. Must get it downfield. Hit on the release and complete, short of the first down, but Laird takes another rip that time as big Alex Brown, number 13, coming hard.
This is a real staple for John Hope, defensive coordinator. The safeties are going to give you a 2-deep look, but at the snap, they switch in and give you a robber look with one safety deep and one safety in the middle. Everyone else plays outside technique, and you force the ball into the middle where that safety's right there to rob you. I've had it done. Ask Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott got 2 of them from me on this coverage, and I got a couple of those too.
One reason why Spurrier doesn't like the shotgun as a staple of his passing attack, he thinks the defense can move late like they did that time and throw it off. He thinks that under center it is tougher for a defensive team to move late on him, and that's why you don't see the shotgun. You know, you talk about Coach Spurrier and all the talk about where he might go, and recently he was offered a nice contract extension, and I asked him, Steve, are you just going to stay at Florida because you enjoy it so much?
I guess so, Brent. I just don't think you should ever say I'll always be here or I'll never leave. But life is very, very good in Gainesville, Florida, University of Florida.
He's a Gator through and through, isn't he, Jack?
Yeah, Brent, well, consider these numbers. I mean, he has got a contract sitting on his desk right now for $8.4 million that would run through 2006. That's an increase of $100,000 from the $2 million a year this year. He says, I only want to coach till 60, and he's, what, 55?
Yeah.
I think he may be staying in Gainesville.
I think so, too, brother. Third down. I'd love to have him, too. Here's Laird. Sideline. There's your first down pass, and the clock is stopped as he gets it on over into the hands of DeAndre Green, the freshman from Pritchard, Alabama.
That was the long throw that time, going clear across. And now with just 4 seconds to go, I think Auburn has to go for the field goal. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. 4 seconds left. They got it in range, and I think that's at least smart.
Damon Duval. Some character, folks. He is all kicker. Last year, dyed his hair, argued with the coaches, gave the peace sign to the TV cameras, and here he is for 44 yards. He was practicing 60-yarders prior to the start of this game. He has a big-time leg. Yes, just slipped it in. I had to wait for the signal because it was close. So Auburn's on the board, and Duval has now kicked 10 straight field goals. Remember, he put the only points on the board against Alabama and against Georgia. He hit a 48 and a 49-yarder. Let's go down to Jackaroo.
Well, Coach, evaluate that first half. You won the turnover war.
Yeah, we blew a nice possession right here.
Yeah.
First down, interception. We're not tackling very well either. We got to play better second half if we're going to hold on to this thing.
Now, you're a little gimpy. What's going on there with your knee?
A little back surgery a while back, but I'll be all right.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Now, folks, there's a football coach. Yep, 21-3, and dang gummit, we should have scored again. Well, John Saunders and Terry Bowden are coming up now here at the halftime. The SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper.
Now, Brent said dangummit. That's not how
it isn't dangummit, Brent. It's dadgummit. I don't know what's wrong with him. He learned that from Bobby Bowden, I believe.
Absolutely had to get that one straightened out for Brent. Now, for Florida, they have just simply owned Auburn, and you see what they've done in the last 6 games. Terry, you were the last team to beat Florida, your squad, when you were coaching in '94.
Yeah, but I lost those first 4 of those last 6. But one thing you got to take from Bobby Bowden, you got to outscore Florida, and Auburn hasn't done that. Auburn needed to keep them from throwing big plays. 2 more touchdown passes by Florida.
Stick around. Coming up, the MSN halftime report. After this message and a word from our ABC stations.